Well. Good morning. Family. I guess the first question I have is anybody awake? I guess that should be question number one. Is anybody awake? Y'all just bear with me 1 second. All right. Let's give some folks maybe possibly a chance to get up in here on this live. I know it's been a while. It's really early. Most people are sleeping. But let's give people a little chance. Let's just play a little bit of some music real quick. I think sometimes some of y'all forget that I'm from the tribe of Benjamins, and sometimes I vibe out to that good Benjamite music. So let's go ahead and play a little bit of music for a little while, and we'll just get right into it. One moment, y'all.
Equal rights and justice for all, rise and never fall. Tell them, say, what they gonna do when not for them the truth. Say what they gonna do, them get slow, yeah. Who do you think you are? We're living in a small world. As wicked as you think you are, we're living in a small world. As bad as you think you are, we're living in a small world. As tough as you think you are, we're living in that one of them. Alright, that day will come when I stand and see all those wicked men in the nowhere to run. That day will come when I see they handing over bombs and bayonets and bullets and guns. That day will come when Emperor Selassie shall raise the world, they get to youth them from over Islam, yeah. And the day I would love to see their face for all those people they do to the human race and try to take things out of place, run away to space, shoot them in the air. After one that judgment you have to get the taste when them find out that they can't escape. Sadness they send on the people them trace. Smile on my face, that day will come when Jesus stand and see all those wicked men and the fire getting burned. That day will come when they will try to escape and they will be nowhere to run. That day will come when I shall see they handing over bombs and bayonets and bullets and guns. That day will come when Emperor Selassie shall rise the world, they get just to them out of this slum. Who do you think you are? Well, living in a small world. As wicked as you think you are, we're living in a small world. As slick as you think you are, we're living in a small world. As tough as you think you are, we're living in a now one and me and now you tell them escape today, you can't escape tomorrow. Make sure you pay back anytime you borrow. Make sure you don't let no life in a sorrow. Make sure you're not lead and straight like arrow. Make sure your praise not push out in a barrow. Make sure you make them walk out and borrow. Yeah, make sure your meditation and narrow. Just tell him some I want. That day will come when I stand and see all those wicked men in the fire getting burned. That day will come when they will try to escape and they will be nowhere to run. That day will come when I shall see they handing over bombs and bayonets and bullets and guns. That day will come when Emperor Selassie shall rise up on the wings of the heavens of the sun. Oh yes, I will remain the same. Hailing Rastafari and watch them going up in flames. For all the innocent going down the train, you have to pay for the shackles and chains, and pay for this washing of the brain, and pay for these guns and cocaine, the sick and the lame. Alright, that day will come when I shall stand and see all those wicked men in the fire getting burned. That day will come when they will try to escape and they will be no.
right now, all righty then. Shalom, brothers and sisters, family. Welcome to another edition of Maccabeestv. It is your brother, Priest Dan, representing Lions of Israel, Maccabeestv, and the nation of Israel in general. How's everybody been? Hopefully you brothers and sisters have been doing well. As y'all can see, nothing has changed. I still wake up at ungodly hours and drive to work in the morning. And so I haven't been doing these road rage videos, man, in months, just because I don't like using the YouTube app. I hate using the YouTube app, right? Hey, before we get started, as always, family, you guys already know the etiquette. If you are in the house and you're listening to me talk, the very least you can do is hit the like button. Or if you don't like me, you can hit the dislike button too. I'm okay with either way. It all triggers the YouTube algorithm. As we know, the YouTube algorithm is garbage, it's trash, right? If you don't have a mega channel of like 1 million+ subscribers, they don't send out notifications for anybody. I know some camps, they think it's just you, that YouTube is coming. No, they're coming against everybody. The algorithm is trash, right? So the way that videos are able to be circulated is the family has to interact with the videos by hitting the like button. For all my haters, you can hit the dislike button. You can leave a comment, and those sort of things will begin to trigger the algorithm so that other people can see we live. And if they choose, they can come in and join in the conversation along with us. Now, I know I've been away from YouTube for a while. I've still been busy. I'm still doing the work like always. But I just been away from this particular channel for a little while as I ventured out into other newer platforms, newer apps and stuff like that to try to, establish myself on these other apps like Clubhouse and others in order to continue to proliferate the word and always, try to reach a fresh and newer audience. Because sometimes, to be quite frank, if we're being honest with ourselves, when we are on YouTube, we're having conversations a lot of time with the choir. We're talking to the choir. We're talking to ourselves, right? So, yeah, that's the reason why I haven't really done much on this channel. But I am coming back real strong because, I definitely have some good information for everybody. So I want you brothers and sisters to check out, right? So, okay, yeah, it was Shalom Sagun. So the name of that song is called, the artist is called Capleton. Capleton, C-A-P-E-L-T-O-N, and the name of the song is called That Day Will Come. All right, that's what the name of the song is. So, yeah. Anyway, you guys see the title. It's called the Mike Woodard edition of Road Rage. Right now, I told you guys I wasn't really doing these Road Rage series much on this channel anymore. I kind of wanted to set aside this channel just for, teaching and stuff like that. I really didn't want to do these because I'm forced to use the YouTube app, which is even worse than the algorithm. They definitely don't send out the notifications. But my man Mike Woodard came, onto Facebook and made a post and says he misses these early morning conversations that I used to have with the family, And it's kind of good because I remember like when I was doing these road race series, sometimes I would have 100 people along with me at 4 or 5 in the morning, like 3, 4, 5 in the morning. It'd be 100 people in the live, which is amazing for that time of night. So, there were a lot of people that were watching. I used to always get the messages from people that these videos, for the people that do the same hours as me, because I'm not the only one, there were quite a few people that would get up and go to work like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And these early morning conversations used to get them through the morning as well. So from time to time, I'll do it on this channel. If y'all want it regularly, like I always tell y'all, I gotta go and subscribe to the backup channel, which is Maccabeestv 2. Not hard to find. What does the Bible say? Seek and you shall find. Just put into the YouTube search Maccabeestv 2. You guys can subscribe over there. And I'll do a couple of these over there as well, probably a little bit more often, if y'all would like, okay? So a couple of points of order. And shout out to everybody that's gonna be shouting me out in the comments. Like I'm driving, so I can't really look to see who's commenting, but shout out to y'all, right? So we got to build it back up. I used to have 100 people in here in the morning. Now I think everybody done fell off because they thought I stopped doing them. So we're gonna build it back up. I'm doing a special edition for my brother Mike Woodard. And also for my main man, 50 grand, Deacon to he too came on the post and said, yeah, he wants me to come back to these because they helped him too. So shout out to the Deacon. Love that brother, man. You know, Israelite Saints of Christ, don't forget, I think it's going on like 2 months ago, they lost their elder, right? And all praises to the Most High. You know, the deacons of the camp, you know, and the other brothers, they came together and they held the fort down, they held the banner high, and the camp is continuing on. So shout out to the Israelite Saints of Christ camp and everybody, you know, down there that's down with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm an honorary member. You know what I'm saying? When I do make it down to Virginia, I'm expecting to get a shirt, man. I'm an honorary member. You know what I mean? So make sure I show the priest some love when I pop through, because I already told him, man, you know, I don't never telegraph my moves. I just pop up. You know what I'm saying? As the HOI camp say, I just pull up. So I might just pull up on you in Virginia one day, Most High allow. So all praise to the Most High for that, right? So, man, a lot of things going on in the world, you know, that we see happening, right? Number one thing that I see, and I guess I experienced it this morning, that's why I'll talk about it first. For all your aunties and grandmas and uncles and daddies and grandpas and mommies that voted for Joe Biden, for those of you guys that drive, you have a car, every time you go to the gas station, you remember all those people that voted for Joe Biden, right? It's been 10 months now. He was inaugurated January 20th. And in an election that we all know was stolen, let's just keep it a buck. He stole the election, right? We all know that those daggone voting booths were rigged, right? A lot of machinations and stuff was going on. That's true. We all saw the videos. If you had to be living under a rock not to have seen the videos where they were bringing in ballots after the polling place closed. They had trucks pulling up and vans pulling up, and they were bringing ballots inside, and they were replacing ballots with other ballots. At the end of the day, right, both candidates were the devil the Bible speaks about. That's a fact, right? But there was one particular candidate that was basically chosen to push the agenda forward. And as we can see, right, the agenda is being pushed heavy right now. This whole thing with the jab and everything that surrounds this jab is them just pushing forward with the agenda that we've all been hearing about for the last couple of decades. Now they're pushing forward with it. We're beginning to see the scriptures come to life. Everything that we heard about was going to happen in the last days, and all these things that we read about in Revelation, we're seeing these things in our lifetime taking place, right? So this particular candidate was tasked with pushing forward the agenda, and that's what he's doing. Now, every time you go to the gas pump, you realize that when I call him Orange 45, that was Trump's name, I call him Orange 45 because Trump is the only guy that I know has an orange complexion. So he's orange, and he was the 45th president, supposedly, right? And when we say 45th president, he was the 45th president under the Constitution, because you had presidents under what was known as the Continental Congress. Was that what it's called? Prior to the Constitution. So he's the 45th president, so-called, under the so-called Constitution. I call him Orange 45. When he was president, gasoline was under $3 a gallon. Now, in some places on the East Coast, gasoline is approaching $4 a gallon. And unfortunately for my family that lives out in places like Hawaii and California, some of y'all are paying $5 plus a gallon for gas. That is insane. That's insane. A couple of years ago, I think like 4 years ago, when I went to Cali, I had a rental car, and I had to pay for gasoline. Of course, before you drop the car off, you have to pay for gasoline. And I'm gonna tell y'all, man, I was practically in tears when I went to the pump and the gasoline was over $4 a gallon. I never paid $4 a gallon for gas in my life. I almost wanted to get in a fetal position and cry. That's insane. But that has larger repercussions than just paying for gas, family. It has greater repercussions than just paying for gas. What you're seeing is that with these high gas prices, there are other residual problems that's taking place as well. What are some of these residual problems that we're seeing with the high gasoline prices? The first thing that you guys are noticing is that you're paying way more for food, especially meat. A lot of our people might have to low-key become vegetarians because meat is so expensive right now, right? It's so expensive, especially if you like eating red meat like beef, oxtails and lamb and things of that nature. If you like eating those types of red meat, those things are extremely expensive right now. Extremely expensive. And part of the reason why food is so expensive is because if gasoline is more expensive for you to fill up your car, imagine how much more that diesel fuel costs per gallon to fill up those 18-wheelers that are bringing all your food and your other merchandise into these supermarkets and mega stores like Walmart. It costs more money. So the price of everything is going up. That also is part of the reason why your shelves in your supermarket are halfway empty. Like, think about it. 2 years ago, the shelves in the supermarket and the shelves in Rite Aid and the 99-cent stores, the Dollar Trees, the Family Dollars, or whatever you guys have, the shelves were not as empty as they are today. Now you go inside. First of all, let me backtrack. Y'all shouldn't be eating nothing out of Dollar Tree. You should not be eating anything out of Dollar Tree. Food that's inside a Dollar Tree is spoiled food, right? Except for the canned and the dry goods. But food inside Dollar Tree is spoiled food. And a lot of times all they do is swap the date out. That's all, right? They also do that in your supermarkets with your meat as well, right? When your meat is about to go bad, when certain meats hit the expiration date, they'll just take the meat to the back, add a little bit more dye to it, change the date, and put it back out for a couple more days. Yeah, that's what they do. That's what they do. But these supermarkets that will sell you trash, they're not so empty. But you go to your local supermarket, you go to your Walmarts in certain areas, and the shelves are not as full or as vibrant as they once were. Part of the reason why is because of the raise in gas prices. Everything is more expensive. So large corporations are ordering less inventory. And so your supermarkets are empty. They're not completely empty, but you can see the handwriting on the wall unless you're blind. So we know where we're heading. We could clearly see. In addition to that, if you're paying attention to the news, and we know outside of Israel, I'm not going to accuse my Israelite brothers and sisters, but outside of Israel, most Negroes don't pay attention to the news. What have I always taught the family? What have I always said to y'all? I always tell brothers and sisters, you got to watch alternative news stations. Don't just watch CNN. Don't just watch NBC. Don't just watch Fox, but watch alternative news stations. Like, for instance, watch Al Jazeera America. You can get that on YouTube. It's free. If you have an Android phone, you can get it on YouTube. Watch Al Jazeera America. Watch BBC and BBC America, right? Watch Press TV, right? And all these other alternative news stations, right? And you're going to begin to see what's happening around the world. Those of us that live in America, brothers and sisters, you're living in a bubble. If you watch the alternative news stations, countries around the world, they're under way more stringent restrictions than you are. For instance, Australia. Australia is getting ready. Either they have already done it or they're about to go into another lockdown. But not for everybody. This lockdown that Australia is getting ready to go into is a lockdown for people that did not take the jab. Only them. If you refuse to take the jab, you're going to be on lockdown in Australia. Either it already happened or it's about to happen because they've been talking about it on the news. What do you guys think is eventually going to happen here? Huh? In certain countries in Europe, if you cannot produce your card that say that you took the poison, you can't go into certain supermarkets, right? Those of you that live in New York City, you guys already know what's happening, right? You can't go into certain restaurants and sit down and eat. You can't go into the movie theater. A brother told me the other day, he took his son, an Israelite brother, he told me he took his son to the movies. They wanted to go see a movie, and they were turned away because his 13-year-old son could not produce a card because he did not get his 13-year-old son the poison. So they couldn't go see the movie, right? That's gonna get worse. That old what does Tariq Nasheed say? Butter biscuit, step and fetch a Negro that they put in office in New York City, Eric Adams. Eric Adams is a Sambo. He's a coon. Just so y'all understand. Y'all were complaining about de Blasio. Hey, they all praise to the Most High. I mean, I got to give the Most High a hand that the Most High moved me the hell out of New York City. Listen, I was living in New York City under Giuliani, which was awful. I was living in New York City under Bloomberg, which was awful. But damn, man, I moved out and I watched from afar what y'all were going through with de Blasio. Oh my God, awful. Well, this, all they did was they gave you a black, because Negroes love a black face, right? A black face that ain't gonna do nothing for you, right? You had that with Barack Obama. You had the black face that did nothing for you, right? And it was so successful that they gave you a black face in New York City, the second black face that ain't gonna do nothing for you. The last black face that you had in New York was David Dinkins, right? What did he do for you? Nothing. What is Eric Adams gonna do for you? Nothing. Because he's beholden to special interests. But anyway, I don't want to get sidetracked. Let's go back to what I was talking about before. So, in New York City, there are a lot of things that around the rest of the country, they're not so strict, that you can't do if you can't produce that card. They beta tested this. Everything always happens first overseas, right? To see how people overseas are going to react to these type of things before they bring them here. So a lot of things that you see in Australia and in certain countries in Europe, they're testing it before they bring it here. Excuse me. So we're beginning to see, and when those things come here, they usually come to major urban centers like New York City or Los Angeles first. So we can see the handwriting on the wall for a lot of things that are coming. And I spent the better part of 2020 warning you Israelite brothers and sisters about preparation and being prepared for what's coming. The Most High has given you, brothers and sisters, a reprieve in a lot of ways, right? Where things haven't escalated so fast, but damn it, you gotta be blind if you can't see it coming. You have to be blind if you can't see it coming. So, before I change the subject, I'm gonna say this one more time, right? There's nothing wrong with preparation. Ultimately, the Most High is gonna have to deliver and save us. We ain't gonna be able to save ourselves, right? But as things become more stringent, as food becomes more expensive and eventually scarce, and there will be famines, the Bible tells you that, right? If you have elderly people, young people that live with you, so forth and so on that you care about, you might want to keep certain things in your house just as a precaution, so you don't have to go out in the streets when there's a shortage of food or water and stand in lines for 3 and 4 hours like we saw during the pandemic. Walmart had a shortage on toiletries. Walmart had a shortage on bottled water and all that. Salaki. Now, if y'all remember, on my website, right, wakeupjacob12.com, my website, there is a emergency preparation list of things you should have in your house at all times. It's on my website, family. All you gotta do is go there and get it. It's for free. wakeupjacob, the number 12.com. All right, so enough of that, okay? Once again, as always, like I always tell you, family, if y'all are in here listening to me and you have not hit the like button, you need to repent and believe the gospel. Y'all know how this YouTube algorithm works. It's trash. There are other people that may want to listen into this conversation as well, right? And so by you hitting the like button, you're not telling YouTube that you like me, because you may not like me. But what you are saying is that something I'm saying is valuable that somebody else might be able to benefit from as well. And by hitting the like button, now they might get a notification or see this in their recommended videos, and they can listen and maybe glean something else from what I'm saying as well, in addition to you, right? You're being your brother or your sister's keeper. That's all. That's all, family. All right, let's move on. Let's move on now. So, for the last couple of months, I told you, brothers and sisters, all right, some of y'all are waking up now. I know I've been going for a while. I used to have about 80 to 100 people here in the morning, but I got about 30 something now. Y'all waking up. I'm gonna do more of these. Family. I'm gonna do more. So, for the last couple of months, family, I told y'all I've been on Clubhouse, right? And I want to talk a little bit about Clubhouse for a second, and give you, brothers and sisters, my honest observation of what I'm seeing, right? First of all praise to the Most High. On Clubhouse is the most real, listen to what I'm saying, the most real unity I've seen among camps as far as I can remember. It's the most unity. I've heard about unity this in Israel and unity camps and unity. I've heard those things and I've seen those things, and they're great. But Clubhouse is the most real unity I've seen in the Israelite community. Because I know many of y'all complain about the divisions and the this and the that. I'm telling you, Clubhouse has a lot of unity on it. And the reason why I say it's the only real unity I see is because the camps are going to war together and fighting together, right? At any given time, if you go into a room on Clubhouse and you look at the stage where the teachers are teaching, you might see anywhere from 4 to 6 to 7, even more sometimes, different camps on the stage teaching together. We have to remember that the core principles of what we teach are pretty much uniform across camps, right? The salvific issues, the issues that depend on salvation, such as keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, are uniform across camps, right? So what we've encountered on Clubhouse is you have a lot of Christians that were coming on YouTube, right? And they were getting cut. They were getting destroyed. So when the Clubhouse app came about, right? You had a lot of Christians that ran to the Clubhouse app. And for the most part, early on in the Clubhouse app, before I got there, the Christians dominated the Clubhouse app. You had the big bishops and mega pastors and all that on Clubhouse. And then, like every other app that Esau creates, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, like every other app that Esau creates, the Israelites jump on the app and we take over. Now, the Christians are getting destroyed on the Clubhouse app daily. Daily. Right? There are debates at least 2 to 3 times a week in real time between the Israelites and Christians, the Israelites and Muslims, the Israelites and atheists, Salakia, people that believe in comedic science, all that stuff. There's debates every single day. There's an upcoming debate this upcoming Thursday. For those of y'all that's on Clubhouse, there's a debate this upcoming Thursday that's going to be an epic debate. It's a 5-on-5 debate. It's going to be 5 Israelites versus 5 Christians. And the topic, more or less, is going to be on the divinity of Christ, Yahushua, Jesus Christ, and his divinity, right? Now, let's talk about that for a second, right? And y'all know me, when I start talking, I also go into history. I don't just talk. Now, let's talk about that a little bit. There are different types of beliefs amongst the Christians, right? You have what's called modalism. Don't ask me what that is, because the word does not appear in the Bible at all. I know what it is, but it's really just made up. You have another section called oneness, right? Now that word does appear in the Bible, Deuteronomy 6:4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. So that does appear in there. And then you have the Trinity, right? Those are all different doctrines that these Christians come with. Versus the Israelites. Now, here's the thing, right? These Christians have been getting destroyed on this whole Trinity and oneness doctrine that they push. So this is their latest attempt now, because they would come into the Israelite rooms one-on-one and get crushed. So what they did was they went out and they put together a 5-person all-star team, right, of Christian apologists and theologians that are supposed to come now into the Israelite room this Thursday, and they're supposed to debate 5 Israelite brothers on the whole Trinity thing. Now, real quick, just a sidebar, if you're on Clubhouse and you don't know where all this stuff is taking place, just look me up, Priest Danyaahla. Just put my name in a search. Just go on Clubhouse, go to the tab where it says people, right? And just type my name in and I'll come up. When you find my profile, just scroll down to the bottom of the page, and whatever groups you see I follow, you follow them. And what will happen is that anytime that I'm on stage in any of these rooms, you'll get a notification to your phone. So you'll know when these debates and these discussions are going on. Right? Now, one second. Let me turn this. Let me just turn this heat off real quick. Salaki, yo. Okay. So, now, the argument about the divinity of Christ is not a new argument, family. It's not new. It goes back about 15 to 1600 years. Even earlier than that, but about 1500 years ago, there was a major ecumenical council about the divinity of Christ. And just so you brothers and sisters understand the importance of ecumenical councils are where doctrines are argued and decided. And ecumenical councils is also how your Bible canon, the books of your Bible, came together. Salaki. You have different people with different ideas that come together at these ecumenical councils and argue their positions, and then they come to an agreement about what the universal position is going to be, right? So you had an ecumenical council. Now, y'all forgive me because I'm driving, so I'm winging it. I'm going to say about 453 AD. I'm probably off a little bit, but it's somewhere around there. And the council was called the Council of Chalcedon. I might be butchering the name too, but you guys will be able to find it. If you just go in and put that stuff in, it'll come up. And they had a council where they argued the nature of Christ. It was a whole council behind that. So this doctrine is not new. One side of the council, they were called monophysites. The other people at the council, they were called diophysites. Now the names that I'm saying should trigger a bell. The word mono should trigger a bell. That means one. The word dio should trigger a bell. That means two. So at this ecumenical council, you had a group called the Monophysites. Who were they? They believed that Christ had one nature, and that nature was divine. The word physites is PH, not F, PH. Monophysites, like you're physical. Monophysites. They argued at this council that Christ had one nature and one nature only. And that nature was that Christ was divine. He was God. This is like almost 1,600 years ago. It's not new. The other side at that council said they were called Diophysites. That's two. They said Christ had two natures. He was partly God and partly man. Right? And they had this council, and I'm winging it now, but if I'm not mistaken, the Diophysites emerged victorious at that council. I'm gonna have to go back and look at that, because it's been a while since I actually studied that. I'm just kind of going off of memory. But the point is that these arguments about the nature of Christ are not new. Sometimes I hear brothers saying, oh, this is something the Christians just made up in seminary school. It's a relatively new doctrine. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's actually pretty old, right? And so the Christians are pushing this doctrine even now. So there's been a lot of arguments and discussions about this thing on Clubhouse and stuff like that. But it's actually good, because what it does is it puts our doctrine that we all believe to the test, right? And so far, all praise to the Most High, our doctrine has, remained undefeated in these discussions. Why is that? Because we're teaching the truth. See, what these theologians and Christian apologists do is they have a doctrine that they're taught in seminary school. And so they have to make the text conform to their doctrine, right? That's what they do. Whereas we just look at what's written on the paper. And what's written on the paper is what we subscribe to. That's the difference between us and them. They'll talk about all types of theological names that have been given to certain doctrines. None of these theological names or expressions appear in the Bible at all. But they sound really cool. And to somebody that's unlearned, you might actually think that person is right, because these people tend to be very eloquent, very loquacious, very good with words, while at the same time being dead wrong. So it's been really an interesting conversation, and I think the Clubhouse app has been very instrumental in mending a lot of fences between the Israelite camps. The brothers are unifying in a lot of ways to teach and defend the gospel and defend the Bible and defend this truth. So I give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High for that. So I have been spending a lot of time over there and a lot less time on this particular channel. But as I mentioned, my brother Mike, my brother Tawab Amon, and others, have been telling me that I need to come back to this channel and pay my subscribers more mind. So I'm pretty sure a lot of my subscribers, so like y'all have a little bit of a cold, and I'm definitely drinking some herbs behind that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm about to talk about that next. But yeah, a lot of my subscribers are probably disengaged at this point because I haven't gone live on the channel in a while. So, it's gonna take a while for word to get around that I'm back on here. But all praise to the Most High for those of y'all that appreciate these morning time conversations that we have. It's all good. All right. So lastly, before I go, because I'm almost to work, as you can see, and I thank y'all for riding with me. Lastly, before I go, I want to just talk a little bit. And so here's the thing, right? Yesterday, was it yesterday or day before yesterday? I was on the Clubhouse app, and I went into a room with Israelites, right? And y'all, those of y'all that been watching the channel for any amount of time, y'all know, like, I shoot straight. I shoot straight, not sideways. And so every conversation is not going to be a conversation that y'all going to enjoy. Sometimes I'm going to talk about some stuff that might for lack of a better word, bring your spirit down and depress you. But if I'm talking to you about it, it's because it's relevant and it's important, right? And so I went in the room and I was talking to a majority of brothers and sisters that's a part of another camp, and I'm giving them the same tough love that I give my camp and I give y'all on this channel, right? We're coming into the winter months now, family, right? For those of y'all that know, I've said it many times on the channel, I don't hide it. I grew up as somebody that was predisposed to asthma, which is a respiratory illness, right? My whole entire life, my mother, my father, while they were with me, they did the best that they could, right? They didn't know better. It wasn't until my adult life and really being in this Israelite truth that I ran across a brother that for the first time explained to me what my asthma really was and what was causing it. My diet was a big contributor to why I had so much problems with asthma as a child, right? Because asthma, basically, a lot of times when you're having an asthma attack, you have a buildup of inflammation, which is caused by excess, listen to what I'm saying, excessive mucus. Mucus is good. Y'all take Dr. Sebi's words out of context. When Dr. Sebi speaks against mucus, he's not saying that you're not supposed to have no mucus. The problem and root of a lot of illnesses is the excess of mucus that comes from your diet. I was a cookie monster. I like cookies and cakes and cheese and all these different things that build up a lot of mucus in your system. And then I was wondering why I was having so many asthma attacks as a child and a teenager. And I learned that I had to eliminate a lot of that stuff out of my diet. Not completely, but for the most part. And as I begin to eliminate those things out of my diet, I stopped having the amount of asthma attacks that I was having when I was young, right? Why do I say all that? Because we're coming into the winter months. So I'm saying to you, not what I think or what I heard, not gossip. I'm talking to you what I know. As somebody who has suffered from asthma my whole entire life, especially as a child, now that I'm older, I don't have the issues I had when I was younger because of what I know. I'm telling you that the worst time of year for asthma patients, number one, is winter. Number two is spring, but number one is winter, right? And winter is coming. And asthma is huge in the black community. Somebody I'm talking to right now, don't know who you are, either you have it or your kids have it, or you all have it, right? And your diet is horrible, right? The reason why I'm saying what I'm saying is that we need for our people to stay out of these hospitals, brothers and sisters. I cannot stress this enough. I can't stress this enough. I'm practically on my knees begging y'all to do better. Why? Because recently, I'm talking about within the last 30 days, there have been more people dying of heart attacks that don't have heart issues. There have been more people getting thrown on ventilators still that don't need to be on ventilators, that are going into these hospitals with pre-existing conditions like asthma and emphysema and other respiratory issues, that are going into these hospitals, and the hospital is misdiagnosing people with you know what, and throwing them on respirators when really all they needed was to be treated for the infection that they had or to be treated for their respiratory illness like they always have been. And instead, they're being told that they have you know what, right? And then they're getting jabbed, thrown on ventilators and all that stuff. And unfortunately, some of these people are passing away. This is happening as we speak. So the conversation I'm having now with you brothers and sisters is with the same conversation we always have on this channel. Yeah, everybody needs to do better with what you're putting in your mouth, in your stomach, and to clean up your diets and stuff like that. I know it's not a fun conversation. I know it's not something that you want to hear first thing in the morning, but it could save your life. I don't want to see Israelites going to these hospitals if you could help it, right? And one of the ways that you could help yourself is by being more careful. And the Bible even tells you this in the book of Sirach. I'm paraphrasing. It tells you about excess of anything, excess of sweets, excess of meats, and all these different things. It's not Danyaahla talking, it's the Bible that tells you guys these things, and y'all know it. And so we have to do better. Because especially if you suffer from pre-existing conditions, you are rife, if your diet is bad, to have something go wrong, and then you wind up in the emergency room. First thing they're going to want to do is they're going to want to give you the poke, right? That's number one. If you don't have it, they're going to want to give it to you. That's number one, right? Oh, I got a free parking spot. All praise to the Most High. Wait a minute, what's that? You know what? I'm good right here. All praise to the Most High. Free parking. Yeah. So, they're going to want to give you the poke. That's the first thing they're going to want to do, right? And then after that, they're going to tell you, they're going to diagnose you falsely with you know what, and then tell you, put you on a respirator, and put you in the ICU, right? Now your family's not allowed to come see you, family. We know nowadays, I don't know if you've had a loved one in the hospital recently, you can't go see a loved one. If you can, just maybe for an hour at best, right? Number one, you yourself have to have the you-know-what as well, the jab as well. You only can see them for an hour, and you leave. And you don't know what the hell they're doing to your loved one while you're not there. Some of these things can be avoided by us just being a little bit better with the things that we know, right? And applying the wisdom that the Most High gives us, right? So it's very important for brothers and sisters to take heed to that. I've been watching, there are a lot of people, in my observation, more so than ever, that are dying from cardiac arrest recently. People who don't normally have a history of heart problems, right? I believe that some of that is due to what's being put inside people, if y'all understand what I'm saying. I believe there's a correlation there. I've been doing my research on that. That's the one conclusion I've come to. Also going back to the asthma thing, I'm gonna tell you something, right? When you suffer from respiratory illnesses, one of the problems is that there are respiratory, for this pandemic that's going around, right? One of the issues that a lot of people say they're having problems smelling, tasting, and breathing, right? People that tend to suffer from respiratory illnesses their whole life, right? Ailments, tend to cope better with this stuff because you know what it's like when you're having trouble breathing, and you know that you're supposed to stay calm and do what you're supposed to do until you're able to breathe. Like, you don't panic. A lot of people that never really suffered from a respiratory illness before, the first time that you're having trouble breathing, you start panicking, and next thing you know, you have a heart attack. That's just what's happening. Yeah, a lot of people that have asthma too wind up dying from heart attacks because they start panicking when they can't breathe, right? And a lot of it is related to diets. So, to round things back out, to circle back around, I'm saying the same thing I've said on this channel for years, right? If you're not a member of the group that we have on Facebook called Healthy Hebrews, send me, if you're on Facebook, just look me up, Daniel Benjamin, right? Inbox me and let me know that you want to be a part of our group on Facebook, right? We don't just, it's not an open group where we just let people in because, of course, Israelites come into the room, and it goes from being a room that's to help people to people being there arguing about which camp is better and all types of other irrelevant, I'm just going to call it what it is, irrelevant bullshit that has nothing to do with nothing. But you coming up in there arguing, so what we had to do is we had to make it a closed room where you have to request to join, right? But you brothers and sisters are definitely welcome. A lot of people are in that group, and they're being helped by that group, by the information that we put in the group across the board. A lot of brothers are suffering from a lot of different things. You know, brothers are suffering from ED, right? Y'all know what ED is, erectile dysfunction, right? That's a big problem, brothers. Brothers, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction, I'm telling you, this is straight talk, early in the morning. Any brother within the sound of my voice that's suffering from erectile dysfunction, you have a big problem. And no, I'm not talking about a problem with sex. No, I'm not. Erectile dysfunction is what? Erectile dysfunction means your blood is not properly circulating, which makes you a prime candidate for either an aneurysm or a heart attack. Because if your blood is not flowing to your lower extremities properly, it's probably also not flowing to your heart or your brain properly either. It's a early sign. The Most High, in his infinite wisdom, created the human body to give you early warning signs of trouble that could come later. Most High builds that innately. It's up to us to educate ourselves and recognize the early warning signs. If you want to know how to treat that without going on a little blue pill, get up in the Healthy Hebrews group. There's all types of information on there that helps brothers. I talk about it all the time. Number one, you need your blood flowing, get off your behind and go and get in the gym. Get in the gym. Do some type of exercise. Do some type of walking. Get on a daggone treadmill. You ain't even got to run, just walk on it, right? Get on the Smith machine, the assisted Smith machine, and do some leg presses and some leg lifts and so forth and so on to get the blood flowing in your lower extremity so it can flow properly. That's one of the ways, man. Along with proper diet. That's one of the ways. A lot of you sisters are suffering from PCOS. PCOS. A lot of Israelite women are suffering from that. And you come down with fibroid. Fibroid is a big thing amongst the sisters. I know y'all don't want to hear that from a man. You don't have to hear it from a man, but you have help for that in the Healthy Hebrews group. You don't have to suffer in silence, right? Some of you sisters suffer from fibroids. Next thing you know, the doctors is pulling out your daggone, giving you unnecessary hysterectomies and all types of stuff, man. That is a part of eugenics. That's a part of the eugenics program. Don't y'all understand that? I wish I was on my computer where I can just share my screen and show you guys. Go Google the eugenics tree. There's something called the eugenics tree. Go to Google Images and Google the eugenics tree and look at all the different systems that they have in place, from the food system to the court system to the legal system to the health system to the hospitals to the education system. You name it. All these different systems are working together to destroy our people, right? Planned Parenthood, abortions, like you name it. All these systems are working together under the umbrella of eugenics, and you just can't see it. We just can't see it as a people, right? The food industry, right? What you're consuming, what's available in your supermarket. Like, for instance, I'll give you a perfect example. In the spring and summertime, when I go to the supermarket, it is nearly impossible for me in the supermarket closest to my house to find fruit with seeds in it. The only fruit that I see in there that has seeds in it on a regular basis is apples. The lemons, the limes don't have seeds. The watermelons don't have seeds. So forth and so on, right? The oranges don't have seeds. The grapefruits don't have seeds, which is the life. And these things are put in our neighborhoods. You got to go to you got to go to the neighborhood where other people live in order to get the good stuff, to find stuff with seeds, so forth and so on. That's what you got to do a lot of times. So these systems are all in place, working in conjunction and working against us. And we say that we know, right? But we don't live and act like we know. And that's where the issue comes in with us as Israelite people. Is if we have this knowledge, we're supposed to know better and we're supposed to do better. And when I point one finger at y'all, it's 3 fingers pointing back at me. Because I'm supposed to know better and do better, right? I examine myself all the time in my personal life to see some of the things that I talk about that I need to tighten up on myself, right? And I also examine myself as somebody that's a leader and say, am I delivering the message the right way to the people? Why so many people that I have the same conversation, I'm like a broken record, I keep saying the same stuff, and so many people don't take heed to what I'm saying. Here we are again. I'm just going to say it because it has to be said. here we are again, right? Doing yet another GoFundMe for an Israelite that passes away in the community. How many of these can we do before Israelites are going to get the message that if you are in this truth, right, there are programs out there where you can get funeral insurance like for less than $5 a month just to cover the costs of your funeral in case you pass away unexpectedly, so that you don't leave that burden on the congregation or the nation. How many times do I have to say the same thing and Israelites hear me? You know I'm right, but you do nothing. I have to examine myself and say, maybe I'm just not delivering the message right. I don't know. Because we all know better, but we don't do better, right? We don't do better. And it's a shame. It's a shame. And most people want to gloss over it, but in this day and time that we're living in, the way that the devil is coming down with great wrath, Revelation 12:12, through his eugenics and all the different systems that are working together, mainly right now through his medical system, the way that they're coming down, everybody needs to have and prepare for whatever the eventuality is going to be, right? The scriptures tell us that some of us are going to pass, and we're going to be risen when Christ come back. That's in the scriptures, right? So you have to be prepared for that. I'm not going to bog y'all down to death with that conversation today, but it is an important conversation, and I had it on Clubhouse this week with a room full. It was another camp really that had me as a guest in the room, so I had to talk to them the same way. This is how I talk to members of my camp, right? This is how I talk to them, right? Those of y'all that have been watching the channel for years, y'all know that I always talk to y'all this way too. Like, I'm consistent all across the board because it's my job. Like the Most High said, we're the watchmen, so it's my job to watch for my people, to stand on the walls to see trouble coming, whether it's the enemy or it's just something simple that could be just overcome my people, overtake my people, and destroy my people. I'm supposed to see it ahead of time and warn the people and blow the trumpet and let you know what's going on. So that's pretty much my story, family. Shout out again to Mike Woodard, you know what I'm saying, the inspiration for me doing this road rage. I haven't done one in a while. I've been more focused on other areas of the work. Shout out to my man Deacon Tawab Amar from Israelite Saints of Christ, also for co-signing Mike's post on Facebook, and that's why I'm here. I will do some more of these from time to time. If y'all want them, if you want them consistently like you used to get them, y'all got to go subscribe to the backup channel Maccabeestv 2, and y'all let me know over there that you want it. Then I'll do it more consistently over there. Now, usually, you know what I'm saying, before I go, I usually open up the floor, for people that want to, if you guys want to talk about anything. Oh, by the way, for us, the Feast of Dedication is November 28th of this month. I'm going to put the flyer in the community tab here on YouTube. Brothers and sisters, Israelites are welcome. Doesn't matter if you're affiliated with a camp or not. You're welcome to come. Just come in the right spirit. If you have doctrines, don't come. Leave your laws are done away with behind at home. Don't come. Right? Yeah. So I'm going to put the flyer in the community tab, but we're having dedication the 28th, which is a Sunday. Some camps may have it that Monday. We're not contentious about dates. We are just rehearsing the righteous acts, right? We're showing the Most High God, Yahweh, that we are mindful of his holy days, and that's what's important, all right? So with that being said, before I go, I usually open up the floor momentarily if anybody has anything that they want to talk about, or I know it's been a while that I haven't done one of these, So I think some of the people gave up on me, like I'm not doing them anymore. So I'm definitely gonna come back and do some of these on even maybe I don't want to promise them, maybe once a week again on this channel, maybe. I don't know. We'll see what the Lord what the Most High wants, but I'll give a moment for anybody that wants to ask anything or whatever. If not, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off. I gotta build myself back up. We used to do these for like 2 hours, remember? Sister Shemayim, that's because you separated Maccabees and TV. Maccabees TV should be one word, right? Or there's another way. Yes, CS, I'm sorry. Oh man, listen, real quick. Sister Shemayim, Maccabees TV is one word, space the number 2, right? Also, if you put if it still doesn't pop up, right? Put in Maccabees TV 2, and then put in Kwame Brown, because that video should pop up, right? While I interview Kwame Brown, put that. Maccabees TV, one word, space the number 2, Kwame Brown, and hopefully the channel will pop up and you guys can see it, right? And then you can go ahead and subscribe to that. Yes, CS, listen. Shout out to my Patreons. I lost some of y'all because in addition to me not being active on this YouTube channel, I wasn't active on my Patreon either for like the last at least 2 months. Shout out to my Patreons, the ones that stayed. Yes. You guys deserve a lot. I owe you guys a lot. So, classic videos coming. Lord allow, coming. I would like to put something up for you guys by no later than Sunday, most high allow. I'm gonna have to make time for that. Definitely, as well as just regular lessons as well, coming to Patreon real soon. You guys will definitely get new content between now and Sunday for sure on Patreon. Maybe even 2 videos at that. One something new and one classic. But most definitely, y'all deserve it. So shout out to everybody that subscribes to my Patreon. The Patreon is Maccabees TV too. Salakia. My Patreon is Maccabees TV as well. Shout out to everybody. I'll pin it in the comments. And yeah, I definitely owe my patrons a lot. I'm gonna try to find a really good video to give y'all, a classic video to give you guys on Patreon between now and Sunday, most high allow. Okay, so what else? Anybody with anything else before I get out of here? Alrighty, well, most high allow, man. Maybe Thursday night, since I'll be doing at my second job Thursday night, if the most high allow, I'll probably go live Thursday night. And I got a couple of PowerPoint lessons. I know you guys have been asking me for some of these PowerPoint lessons. I got some really good information I want to share with the family. I think you guys will really enjoy the information. We're going to dig deep into the books, deep into the history, deep into the scriptures, and, you know, hey, my man Claude in the building, Uncle Claude. All praises. My man Uncle Claude in the building. A great brother, man. Beautiful, beautiful brother, man. All right, family, y'all got like another minute or so if y'all have something y'all want me to talk about. If not, I'm going to cut out. And we'll pick this up again Thursday evening, most high allow. If there's something you want me to discuss, put it in the chat. Going once, going twice. All right. Sister Shemayim, if you found the channel, just post the channel right here in the chat for people that may not have found it and are looking for it. Oh, snap. Look who it is. Look who it is in the building. Sister Yakira. Shalom to Yakira and her household, her husband. Shalom to you guys. Thanks, you guys, for tuning in as well. All right. So, all right, family. So, you guys are quiet this morning. So, that's a good thing. I guess, in that case, I could just kind of sit back and relax until it's time for me to go inside the job. Much love again, family. Thank everybody for their support. If you were in the house listening to my conversation and you didn't hit the like button, that means you haven't repented and you don't believe the gospel, but there's still time to do better, family. So make sure you do what... No, Sister Shemayim, not that. That's my sister right there. No, sister Shabab, you got to copy the address. So you got to go to the channel. Like I don't know if you're using your phone or you're probably using your phone, right? Yeah. You got to go to the address bar and type in the address for the channel inside the comments. But you probably only could do that from a computer. So don't worry about it. I'll do it later. I'll put it in the comments and pin it. All right, thank you, sister. Lewis, yeah. Lewis, I'll text you about the 28th. I'll text you what we need on the 28th, okay, King? No problem. Mainly, I just want you to show up, King. I just want to meet you in the flesh, but yeah, we definitely can use some assistance. I'll let you know, all right? All right, family, so that's it for me. That's my story. I'm about to jump off. Most High bless everybody. Everybody have a safe, blessed day. Everybody that's going to watch this later on. I know it's early, so a lot of people are going to watch later on, not now. Most High bless y'all as well. And I'll see y'all probably Thursday night on the channel, right? I'm going to come back real hard on Thursday night with like a really good PowerPoint, all right, y'all? With that said, Crown Me 13, you the bestest. You already know. Appreciate you. Adolphus, I appreciate you too, King. All praises. Shalom.